Right. Well, thanks very much for joining us. This is another segment of what we're calling checking in here, where we're just looking to check in with some good news stories going on during the COVID-19 pandemic, and especially from the business community. There's a lot of people pitching in, and I'm excited today because I've got two friends of mine with Carly Edmundson and Aaron Degroot, both from Cushman Wakefield Stevenson. Aaron's the president of Cushman Wakefield Stevenson, and Carly, you're the newly marketing and communications director, I guess, at the shop over there. So I'm really excited to have you guys on. You guys have been doing some awesome stuff in the community. So before we get into that, maybe you guys could tell us, the listeners, who Cushman Wakefield Stevenson is, and just for anybody that doesn't know you guys already.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cushman Wakefield Stevenson is it's the largest full service commercial real estate firm in the city of Winnipeg. And when I say full service and I say commercial real estate, that really means two things. Commercial real estate, obviously dealing with the commercial side of the business, retail strip malls, office buildings, industrial warehouse property. The closest to residential we get is we do have a property management arm that manages about 5,000 condominium units for condominium boards. And then the full service side of things is really built around our three primary buckets, which are brokerage services, property management, and then valuation and advisory. So brokerage, you think, your traditional investment property sales and leasing. Property management, you think property management over, again, commercial properties, residential, common area spaces, again, as close as we get to residential, and then apartment property management as well. So not so much facilitating, but handling of all the financials within those properties, all of the different common area cleanup contracts, facilitating all of those, doing some maintenance ourselves within those properties, and adding value as much as we can to the properties that are in our property management portfolio. And then, of course, the valuation and advisory side, where we appraise commercial real estate, typically for mortgage financing, for security for the banks. That would be the typical line of work there, providing them with a valuation to secure whatever mortgage funds are being deployed on the properties. But we get some fun assignments in that side of the business as well, like market analysis work for developers and things like that, right? So that's the kind of the function of the business. Now the culture side of the business and who we are and all that stuff, that's a whole other story that we could probably go on for weeks talking about, because the real story of our firm is the people that we have, and that's really what precipitated this conversation is the people, because it's the people that came up with these great ideas that we've implemented recently out in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's probably a common trait with all good firms, good shops out there. I mean, I try to talk about Endeavour in the same way, because without the people here, I'm nothing, and I'm sure you'd feel the same way, guys, on your end. But now that, like, you've kind of explained it, I'm sure people are going to see your guys' signs all over the place, and
big red one. You can't miss them.
Yeah, exactly. And especially as you're coming over the Donald Street Bridge there, you guys are front and center basically as you're coming downtown, which is great. But you're right, we're here to talk about your acts of maintenance program or team that you guys have put together. And frankly, I've been talking you guys up a lot because when the pandemic first hit, we were looking at, like, how can we give back and what can we do? And literally while we were still brainstorming, you guys were out there doing stuff, and I was seeing it all over Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and you guys were already, like, the rubber hit the road. So maybe, tell us how that all came to be, and how that came to be and what's going on with it.
Well, a lot of credit due to if we weren't in a digital world right now, I'd be saying the lady sitting to my left. Yeah, but a lot a lot of credit due to Carly Edmundson, who's on your screen. Carly is relatively new to our firm. How long have you been with our firm, Carly?
I started right after Louis Riel weekend, so
Yeah.
about 3 weeks before this all started.
Like it's incredible. The timing is just incredible. So we hired Carly as and truth be told, we had been coveting Carly for quite some time to move into this role as our director of marketing and communications. And finally it worked out, and we were over the moon, to have her join our team, and not just join our team, but join our leadership team. And it was literally one of the first meetings that she was involved in at a leadership level. We were going around the table. COVID was just kind of starting out. I don't even think it had hit Winnipeg yet, to be quite honest, when we started brainstorming ideas, because we realized that, the way pandemics act, if they're not in your hometown yet, they're coming. Especially a city approaching 1 million people. You can bet it's coming. So we started talking about different things that we do as a firm that would make sense as far as giving back to the community. And we realized, we didn't realize, but we noted that our maintenance team is going to be the one line of service that we offer, within our property management division, that will always be out there. They're going to be an essential service, no matter what happens. If a pipe breaks inside a building, those maintenance guys are going to be on call, putting themselves in possibly some precarious situations when COVID strikes, right? And we knew we were going to have them on the front lines. And it was just an unbelievable conversation and brainstorm. And, it was Carly who coined the term Mate Nice, and, came up with this incredible idea as we were brainstorming of having our maintenance people really be the front and center focus of, giving back to the community, because they were mobile, right? They have their vehicles. They have the ability to go grocery shopping during the day, and make stops from job to various locations, and drop off hand sanitizer, drop off whatever it is that some charitable organizations would need, and really no skin off our backs, because they're out there anyways, right? It was just a really cool idea, a really great way to get started. And all of a sudden, our maintenance people who certainly were not used to this, had photogs following them around everywhere, and snapping pictures of these great deeds that they were doing, right? And then, with some good graphic design, we came up with this theme of kind of a superhero play on it, which was really cool on social media. And that's kind of how it came to be. They were the boots on the ground. And we wanted to help. We just wanted to help. We wanted to help people any way we could. And the grassroots approach was really the way we wanted to go. We thought the idea of being able to make a real difference, one act of kindness at a time, was powerful and achievable for everyone in their own way. And maybe it could inspire others to do the same. And you know what? Obviously, it did. So it was a great story.
It's awesome. And so, like, Carly, because it seems like you were the main driving force, or one of the main driving forces, at least initially. What prompted on your end? Like, obviously you got into this really quickly because you just started your new role, and then boom, you guys were off to the races pretty quick. So how did that come about, and what was your motivation there?
Well, one of the reasons I was really excited to come to Cushman Wakefield Stevenson is how community focused they truly are. And I think, the way companies behave when things are challenging or when the chips are down really show you if it's the standard corporate responsibility line, or is it really that they truly do care and have that as one of their corporate values. And it's so clear to me that this organization really does thrive on making sure the community around it is strong. But in terms of acts of maintenance specifically, I just loved how relatable it was for everybody. I think during a time where we're isolated at home and not having the level of interaction we're used to, how cool to see sort of your everyday person out just doing kind things. And doing something extraordinary during an ordinary day. I think that's a really powerful message and something that all of us can participate in our own way. But I have to say also that the personalities of these maintenance guys really helped guide the creativity there, because I think it was like my second day, and they had just got their new uniforms. Nothing crazy, just Cushman and Wakefield Stevenson. They had their jackets, their fleeces, and they were so jazzed. They wanted to have a company-wide fashion show to show off their new duds. And I thought, okay, this is not like a lot of other maintenance teams I've met before. This is pretty cool. So I think they've taken their responsibility as our ambassadors in the community really seriously. And I can't think of better ambassadors for us right now.
Just such a credit to, like, Naren, you were talking about, like, the culture that you guys have built at the firm, and how important the community is, and how important you're making, like, not, these your maintenance staff feel like just being a part of a program like that. That's awesome. I mean, what I love about it is, and nothing against any companies that are like doing like billboards and stuff like that right now, but I love that you guys are actually putting boots on the ground and, like, getting your hands dirty, if you will, just to make a difference. I think that's such a great story, and I hope that that's the stories that we all remember coming out of this pandemic, is that the companies and the people that kind of stepped up when everybody needed it, and hopefully that's the positive spin on all of this, right? So yeah, really kudos to you guys. You've talked a lot about, like, the community and, like, how important it is to you guys and your culture, and that's ultimately why this was such a great fit for you guys. Maybe you can. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the impact that you've seen your efforts have, and, like, what's I don't know if you can name the organizations you've helped out, but if you can, great. But maybe you can tell a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I can give you a bit of an overview there for sure. One thing that's really cool about Acts of Mate Nice is it was kind of a broad spectrum of who we were able to help out. So some of the organizations that we did various kind acts for, our Main Street Project, Nadinaway, We24, Winnipeg Pet Rescue Shelter, Red Road Lodge, you name it. If you reached out and had something that we could do and we could do it, we said yes. That was really what we were trying to do. And one kind of interesting fact about our maintenance team is they actually have a decent amount of access to cleaning supplies and sanitation and antibacterial supplies, which was something that was in crazy short demand. So we made toilet paper deliveries, we made cleaning supply deliveries, anything that people really needed. And it's maybe not the sexiest topic to talk about, but during a pandemic, it's really what you need.
Yeah, well, toilet paper got really sexy about a month ago for everybody.
Oh, so. Yeah, for sure. Everybody was talking about toilet paper. So we got such great feedback from these organizations. It was really a warm fuzzy for our whole organization. And that was one of the impacts that we saw, not only for those that we helped, but our own staff. Morale, culture, through the roof during a time when it was tough to always be positive. So we made sure that as much as we were sharing externally what we were doing, we were letting our own team know what we were doing and what an impact it was making. And being in marketing, I was watching it fairly closely, and we had over 35,000 impressions online from stuff that we posted just for Made Nice. So, I mean, certainly the non-altruistic part of me, the part that likes to see our brand out there from a business perspective, it was successful on that front as well.
I think it's important to note too, just really quick, that a lot of the kind of grassroots culture, community feel that we have around our company has a lot to do with where we come from as well as a company. Our CEO was a carpenter.
Wow.
He built things.
Yeah.
And we've got a mantra inside our firm that that's what we do. I mean, we build things. We literally help build the city in so many different ways. As far as a deal for a lease goes at True North Square. Let's just use that as an example, right? I mean, we were the leasing agent there, and helped build that. From a consulting standpoint, we helped build True North Square, way back in the early days, when they were trying to get the area designated as a tax increment financing zone, in 2009 or whenever that was, right? We build our people, like we coach from within, and then we build, we try to help build the community up in any way possible. So, although we're not out there with hammers and hard hats, that's kind of the mantra. We do. We help build things. We from inside and from outside.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, actually, as you're talking about True North Square, I was kind of reminded of something that Mark Chipman said. And I can't remember where he gave the speech, but it was like, Winnipeg wasn't really built on, because we have all these resources that we sell. Like, we're not an oil town, we're not a mining town. We're, really, like, what makes Winnipeg special and why people stay and why people choose to live here is the people. And the people are the ones that built everything here. And you guys are testament to that as well, and in the work that you guys are doing. So I love that. I love that culture that you've built. I got just one last question for you guys. And it's a bit of a loaded question, but like, as we know, there's lots of good things going on in the community right now, and there's lots of programs that have been designed to help people that are struggling right now. But in your guys' opinion, like, do you think we're doing enough? Do you think that there's more to be done? And I won't ask you to get in trouble with anybody, but if you have any ideas on that, what do you guys think?
I certainly think there's more to be done. I think there's a lot of stories that we don't get to hear about, unfortunately. That maybe don't turn out, the nice, flowery way that ours has turned out, in terms of getting out there. And there's a lot to be done to bring this community back feet. I mean, we know that phase one of reopening, is happening right now, and this is going to be a different world that we're living in post COVID-19. In every office space, in every store, everywhere we go from this point forward, it's going to feel different. And I know this because there's firms that are banking on it heavily. Our firm being one of them. We've established something called the 6 Foot Office, and it's widely available out. It's a public document. All you got to do is Google it. You can give it a read, and it's Cushman Wakefield's view of what the office is going to look like coming out of COVID-19. And it's not some crazy futuristic type of office space. It's just, here's the precautions that we all need to be taking as a society and as a community when we start bringing people back into the workforce and into the office. And I think that's the next stage, is helping people get back up on their feet. I hope, that the worst of this is over. The numbers have steadied, and we're starting to talk about reopening some things. And now I think it's about some of those businesses that were really heavily impacted over the last couple of months, and some of those office spaces that have been dormant for the last few months, helping them transition back into normal life and a normal work day. And I think that's where we've really got a lot of work to do. This is going to have lasting impacts on the way we interact with our spaces. There's a roadmap. There is a roadmap to help prepare for it, and there's been a lot of research done. We're here to help as a firm, obviously. And I hope everybody else is thinking that way. That there's certainly going to be a lot of time and energy that's going to need to be put into getting life back to normal. So again, wishing and hoping that the worst of it's over, but there's a lot of work to be done yet to bring life back to normal.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like we need to definitely keep our foot on the pedal and maybe increase, put a heavier foot on the pedal, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Carly, would you add anything to that, do you think?
Yeah, I think our philosophy as a firm is to just try to always be as proactive as possible. And this 6 Feet office really does provide something that applies to any kind of business to help them get a sense of what they need to start thinking about now. So that they don't feel too behind when they do get that return to work. So that's going to be something really exciting to see as our next phase of helping people. But I also think that we're all about diversity and inclusion. So remembering that everybody's journey back to the new normal is going to be a bit different, and that's okay. It might take some groups longer than others. It might take some employees different measures to feel safe than others, and that's the nice thing about the program is it really does accommodate all of those different intricacies of everybody's business. So, Grant, I have a question for you. Is that allowed?
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely.
I saw that you guys were also doing some random acts of kindness
Yeah.
out in the world over the past few weeks. Do you
Yeah.
have a favorite one that really stuck with you?
Oh man. Yeah. You know what? It's the truth of it, I love them all, but like so we contacted the United Way of Winnipeg and just to see which of their agencies might be needing some help. I've had a lot of fun working with. So we did something very similar to what you guys did, and we might have copied you a little bit. But our
Okay.
Random Acts of Kindness team, or our RAC team, we did some deliveries out to some really neat places. Craig Street Cats was one of ours that we did, which was fun.
Cool.
Earcom, which is a really neat organization. They were super grateful, and it was a super rewarding experience. But I think like one of the things that I've had a lot of fun with is one of their agencies, Art City. You know, they had some people, and you know, it's all volunteers and you know that are working there, and or a lot of volunteers anyway. And so you know, we offered to any United Way agency actually the opportunity to take advantage of our services, and if anybody was you know had any questions about their financial situation right now, because there is a lot of pressure on a lot of people right now, and so we offered our team up just to see if anybody had any questions, want to bounce some ideas off of us. And so we've had a few people take us up. So, you know, there's been a few people at Art City, which was neat. And it's a fantastic organization. And there's been a few others from other organizations as well. And you know, I think it was just neat to be able to use our talents and our skill set to give back in a way as well. And you know, we don't always know how best to do that, but this pandemic has kind of presented an opportunity for that. So yeah, it's been really rewarding. But you see that there's just so many great people in the city, and they're super grateful when you can give them a handout if they need it. And so it's as you guys have experienced and we've talked about, it's such a great city and such a great opportunity for us to give back if we can. So
That's awesome. I enjoyed following along with your adventures.
well, likewise. So
I'm not going to put you on the hot seat like Carly did.
You're not going to?
I said I'm not going to put you on the hot seat.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought you said you were going to. I'm like, oh man.
No, they're all great stories, and you know, we're proud to be here today, obviously, to talk to you. And I think at the end of the day, Winnipeg especially, I find this, you know, we you know, we're fortunate we get to travel a lot to different cities for business, and you know, it is different. It's just different other places. You know, this community, the business community, there's something about it. It's close knit. You know, you think about other programs like the CEO Sleep Out and some other things. And I'm not saying other cities don't have, you know, great programs and great things like that. But when this city needs to come together, boy, does it ever. And it's really cool to see. So really cool to be able to join Endeavour today and you know, chat with you guys. And you know, we certainly different businesses, but at the end of the day, we're Winnipeg businesses, and we share a lot in common.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a good point to end this on. But I do really appreciate your guys' time today. I know you're busy. I know there's lots going on in your world, but thanks so much for sharing the story. And we're happy to share it out as well, because like I said, this is all about sharing these good stories when there's a lot of negativity out there, but there's a lot of good going on as well. So thanks for everything you guys are doing. I appreciate it, and the whole community appreciates it, I'm sure.
You bet. Thanks, Grant.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.